This is the Rakk Pirah Plus, a tri-mode budget keyboard that's in a 65% form factor. But what exactly do you get value for $2,995? Let's see. For what you pay for, you'll get this well-designed box that shows everything the keyboard has to offer, even having the scriptures of Pirah on the box, which is a nice touch. Now inside, you're met with an extra top case, which by the way does not come with other budget boards. And then the keyboard itself, covered by a plastic sheet to make sure that the board is protected from scratches. And then we have the manual. Consider this as the Bible for this keyboard, as all hotkeys to work around the board will be found here. And you have this good quality cable and a switch puller that comes for free. And now, let's take a look at the keyboard itself. Okay, wait, I know what you're gonna say. Strike, this looks like the GMK67, what do you mean? I know. Okay, taking its form as the widely popular GMK67, we'll think that this is another rebrand. And in fact, the GMK67 is indeed cheaper in price. But for the Rakk Pirah's price of just $2,995, a small difference from the usual price of the GMK67, you're getting double shot PBT keycaps and the Otemu switches that it comes with, making it usable right out of the box. And it's pretty worth it for its value. But let's see what Rakk did to make it their own and see what innovations they promised to the Filipino market and beyond. Now going back to the keyboard and its features. A few innovations include moving the LED indicators from the right side up to the caps lock side. Another thing is that it now comes with VIA, which we'll get into more later. Moving forward to other physical aspects of the keyboard, you have this knob, which you can control media with, and behind the board we see 3 parts. 2 switches to control connectivities between wireless, and a Windows/Mac modifier to base it on which system you're using, and the USB Type-C port. Oh, and there's the dongle. Let's flip it over, and let's hear how the board sounds stock. Okay, and going through that stock sound test, we can say that it was indeed a bit muted. But that's what we can get from Otemu switches anyway. Also, stabs need some help, but since these are using plate-mounted stabilizers, it won't be a pain to remove them, even for people who aren't familiar with doing so. And going back to the front, we are met with what appears to be double-shot PBT cherry profile keycaps, with a thickness of around 1.5 millimeters. And underneath, our switches. Did I mention that this keyboard is hot swappable too? That means you can feel free to put on any switch you want to rock with. Now let's talk about software. The best innovation that Rakk went with this model is that they integrated VIA support. What's VIA? Well, VIA is an online software per se that doesn't need downloading at all. Simply just go to their website at usevia.com and make sure your board is plugged in. Oh wait. For this specific keyboard, you don't actually need to have it plugged in. Talk about efficiency. Props again to Rakk for pulling this off. And even higher end keyboards don't have this feature, so add this feature to the what makes this board so worth it list. JSON files are available on Rakk's website, so feel free to get it there. Now I don't have to repeat myself when I say that you get insane value out of this board for what you get it with. Moving forward, let's open it up, see what it has for us, and let's put on our own components to it. First, I'll show you how to remove the top case. You might want to get the switch/keycap puller that came with your keyboard and use it to remove the knob. You can also follow this method if you want to switch to the white top case that's included. And then, remove the spacebar. This is what Rakk themselves advise you how to do it. Simply get any prying tool or a thin plastic component and push out the case where the spacebar was. Slide in your card, swipe it sideways, and go from there. Once all sides are unclipped, flip over the board and simply lift the top case away from the whole thing. And now we can dive even deeper. Opening the board up, you'll be met with 3 JST connectors. one for the daughter board, one for the battery, and another for the rotary encoder or the nut. Upon disassembly, you'll also see that the gasket mounting system on this keyboard is properly implemented with Poron gaskets installed at the bottom case and the top case. It's very similar to the GMK67. Next, let's pull out the switches and the keycaps using the tool we're given and see what the PCB assembly looks like. Now that's done, we can see that this board comes with a polycarbonate plate foam, a nice PE sheet, and the 1.6mm thick PCB, in which if we look closer, we can determine that it indeed uses screw-in stabilizers. Let's see how the board fares now after some minimal tweaking. For this part, I'll be installing some aftermarket stabilizers such as these TXAP clip-ins and lube them with 205 grade 0 and XHT BTC. Then, let's reassemble. For the switches, I'm going to be using Mode Tomorrow Tactile switches since they're definitely one of my favorite Tactiles up to date. Now let's fully reassemble and mount the keycaps on. Wait, you know what? Let's use the extra white top case they provided. As for the keycaps, I'm using GMK Oblivion to match the theme and give it the love it deserves. And now, we have my version of the Rakk Pirah Plus. Overall config is going to be shown in the sound test, and without further ado, let's hear how this board sounds. All links are going to be down in the description below, and until then, I'll see you next time.